JP Brand is out on track and getting ready to push for their qualifying time.
It's all about finding that balance between staying calm and focused, while also pushing the limits.
JP Brand appears focused and prepared driving through Bosch curve. This is where the mental game comes into play. Mike Ramsey is taking their time to prepare for their qualifying run. Mike Ramsey is looking relatively composed going through Raiffeisenhügel. As Mike Ramsey completes their outlap, they will be hoping they have given themselves enough space on track to fully attack for their first flying lap. The adrenaline is pumping. Richard Reschke is on their outlap, warming up the tires and getting ready to put in a fast lap time.
It's a delicate balance between taking it easy and pushing hard. Let's see how Richard Reschke handles it.
Richard Reschke is driving through Valvoline Lane. Mike Ramsey is on their outlap. Mike Ramsey appears focused and prepared driving through Bosch curve.
There's not much better than sitting near here and watching the cars speed by.
It's all about strategy in these early moments. Philip Van Staden is taking their time to prepare for their qualifying run and get everything just right. Philip Van Staden is looking relatively composed going through Raiffeisenhügel.
I have always loved this section of the track.
You can feel the tension building. Rian Barkhuizen is out on track and getting ready to push for their qualifying time. That's the outlap done for Rian Barkhuizen. They'll now look to focus on their first flying lap. Rian Barkhuizen is driving through Hella Licht curve.
There's a spot near here where the teenagers sneak off to make out.
There are just over 5 minutes left in this qualification session. Jonathan Visser appears focused and prepared driving through Texaco chicane. This is where the mental game comes into play. Peter Grobler is taking their time to prepare for their qualifying run. Peter Grobler is looking relatively composed going through Jochen Rindt curve.
There's not much better than sitting near here and watching the cars speed by.
It's all about precision and speed in qualifying, and Jonathan Visser crosses the start-finish line at the end of their outlap. Jonathan Visser is driving through Hella Licht curve.
It's certainly exciting to watch. But let's not forget, the goal is to secure a good starting position for the race.
Peter Grobler appears focused and prepared driving through Texaco chicane. Robert R. Coots is up minus 0.19.
It's amazing what a little bit of adrenaline and a lot of horsepower can do. Robert R. Coots is just showing us all what they're made of.
Robert R. Coots is now up minus 0.44 in Jochen Rindt curve.
There's no guarantee that Robert R. Coots can maintain this delta through the rest of the lap.
The adrenaline is pumping. Jacobus Basson is on their out lap, warming up the tires and getting ready to put in a fast lap time.
These are the moments that really matter. Let's see if Jacobus Basson can deliver.
Jacobus Basson is looking relatively composed going through Texaco chicane.
Spectators near here can smell the smoke wafting from nearby grills.
Peter Grobler is up minus 0.47. Peter Grobler has improved by minus 0.21 up through Bosch curve. Jamie Nichols is looking for ways to improve their consistency.
They'll need to put together a perfect lap, hitting every apex and pushing the car to the limit without going over it.
Jamie Nichols is not able to keep their pace consistent. So far they are 0.15 seconds down.
Jamie Nichols needs to refocus and start putting in the lap times we know they're capable of.
Donovan Liu has positioned themselves well in 6th during qualifying. The challenge now is to assess their competitors and strategize how to move up the order for a better race start.
Spot-on analysis, Lucy. Donovan Lau has positioned themselves well in 6th. It's now crucial for them to maintain their focus and defend their position in the upcoming race.
It seems like Donovan Liu is struggling, currently 0.31 off their best pace. A dominant display by JP Brand in this qualifying session. They have put in a stunning lap time and find themselves at the top of the leaderboard. The other drivers will have their work cut out to match their speed and claim that pole position. JP Brand is driving through Texaco chicane.
There's a spot near here where the teenagers sneak off to make out.
A disappointing performance from Ronnie Jonker so far in this qualifying session. Finding themselves in 15th position is certainly not what they were aiming for. However, they have the talent and experience to bounce back and salvage a better result. A strong showing from Richard Reshka as they currently sit in 2nd. With the session drawing to a close, they'll need to dig deep and find that extra burst of speed to improve.
Great analysis, Lucy. Richard Reshke has shown excellent pace to secure 2nd. Now, the focus.
Richard Reshka will be happy having put themselves into 2nd in this qualifying session.
Every fraction of a second counts. I'm sure they can find a little extra in there.
It's been a challenging day for Melvin Gauss. Has some work to do as that 3:26.637 is only good enough for 17th. Melvin Gauss appears focused and prepared driving through Flatshot. Ernest Heather has secured a respectable 5th in the qualifying session. This is a great spot to use as a launchpad for a strong race performance.
I couldn't agree more, Lucy. Ernest Heather has done a fantastic job to claim 5th. The challenge now is to convert this opportunity into a strong race result.
A challenging session for Melvin Gauss so far. They're currently in 17th position, which is not where they wanted to be. But in motorsport, we've seen remarkable comebacks, and they'll be hoping to turn their fortunes around and secure a better result. Melvin Gauss is looking relatively composed going through Texaco chicane.
I have always loved this section of the track.
Impressive work from Richard Reshka, who has claimed 2nd on the grid. Now, the focus is on maintaining their composure and pushing for an even better starting position. Richard Reshka will be happy having put themselves into 2nd in this qualifying session.
It may be difficult for them to improve further on that. Sometimes trying too hard makes you slower. They need to drive smooth and smart.
It hasn't been the Richard Footman has completed their first flying lap in 1:58. It's a beautifully calm day here at Spielberg 1974, as we're getting ready to get things underway.
The tension's building now. This is going to be another great race.
Sitting in 2nd, it's Richard Reshka. Our 3rd place starter for today's race is none other than Jamie Nichols.
Jamie Nichols is looking on for a strong result.
Watch out for Peter Grobler, starting from the 4th grid position in today's race.
Let's see what Peter Grobler can do.
As the drivers prepare to take off, Ernest Heather sits in 5th place on the starting grid.
Starting from here, Ernest Heather may already have expectations of a podium finish.
And that's the race underway. Some very good reactions there.
Staying out of trouble in these early moments is crucial. It's a fine line between pushing hard and staying safe.
Is there a better sight than feeling elite racing drivers battling for position?
Like gladiators they introduce, but instead of lions and swords our champions fight in an arena of tarmac, and with fire-breathing machines of cutting-edge materials, designed to explore the very limits of physics itself in what can sometimes be very much a fight to the death.
Tensions are high, and no one will want to make a crucial mistake on the first lap. The racing is normally closely fought here at Spielberg 1974. I think we are in for a cracking race.
I for one am really excited, Lucy. The rivalry between Ernest Heather and Peter Grobler has been building before the race, and this is where scores are settled.
Was JP Brand trying to give their rivals a head start? They're already behind from the get-go.
Definitely not the start they were looking for, and now they risk getting held up in the early stages of the race.
Melvin Gauss is tearing up the track, making up positions like they're going out of style.
If Melvin Gauss can keep this up, they might just become the star of the show today, Lucy.
Mike McGear is holding 8th, but Jonathan Visser is right on their tail.
Jonathan Visser is certainly pushing all they can, but the gap might just be too much. Unless Mike McGear makes a mistake, it looks like they'll hold on to 8th.
The race is really heating up. Jonathan Visser is hunting down Mike McGear with everything they've got.
It's all about finding the perfect opportunity. Jonathan Visser needs to stay patient and wait for Mike McGear to make a mistake.
They're going for the same piece of tarmac. Sparks are flying as they battle for position, daring each other to brake later and go deeper into the corners. Talk about being caught in the middle. Wayne Midden is sandwiched between their rivals. Philip Van Staden 0.1 seconds behind and Rian Barthuizen 0.2 seconds ahead. The battle for position is on. Looks like we've had a few incidents out there.
Someone forgot to take their driving lessons. They're making more U-turns than a confused tourist.
Hilarious. I think they might need to call their GPS for directions. Maybe it can help them navigate the track. This is a thrilling battle as Jamie Nichols edges closer to Richard Reschke in their fight for P1. Oh no, John, look at this. Ernest Heather is closing in on Peter Grobler. The gap is now just 0.1 seconds.
This is a real test for Peter Grobler. They need to find some extra pace and hold off Ernest Heather if they want to win this race.
Oh dear, Peter Grobler has dropped down to 5th.
That's got to hurt. Peter Grobler will be kicking themselves right now.
The crowd is on the edge of their seats as Jamie Nichols in second chases after Richard Reschke. The delta is just over a second, and you can feel the tension in the air. Jamie Nichols needs to find a way to close the gap.
It's moments like these that make motorsports so exciting. We're witnessing a battle of skill and strategy between two great drivers, with Jamie Nichols in second determined to catch up. But we know Richard Reschke isn't just going to hand it to them on a plate. Jamie Nichols is going to have to take it. It should be an interesting battle to watch as long as they can close that gap.
It's a game of inches now as Ernest Heather tails Peter Grobler closely, ready to capitalize on any mistake.
It's a battle for position as Ernest Heather tries to make a move on Peter Grobler. This is what racing is all about.
What a tight spot for Wayne Midden. They have Donovan Liu right on their tail 0.2 seconds away, and Ronnie Jonker just inches away with a gap of 0.2 seconds. It's a true test of their racecraft.
Absolutely, Lucy. The pressure is mounting for Wayne Midden as they navigate through this challenging situation. It's crucial for them to remain focused and make calculated moves.
Donovan Liu could be looking for a way up the inside of Ronnie Jonker. The race is heating up as Ernest Heather in 5th closes in on Peter Grobler. The gap is just over a second, and I'm sure they are going to do everything possible to try and close the distance. They're not giving up without a fight. The crowd is on its feet as Robert R. Coots chases down Jonathan Visser through Dr. Tyrok Curve.
I remember being in a similar situation during my racing days. Robert R. Coots must stay focused and wait for the perfect opportunity to overtake.
The intensity is off the charts as Donovan Liu hounds Ronnie Jonker, both drivers pushing themselves to the absolute limit. And Donovan Liu has just won the place from Ronnie Jonker. This is where the race gets really interesting. Ronnie Jonker is closing in on Donovan Liu.
You can see that car bouncing around as they ride the curves. It's a risky move that could end in disaster.
This is where the skill and precision of the drivers really comes into play. Robert R. Coots is chasing Jonathan Visser in P8.
The gap between them is just over 0.4 seconds, which can feel like miles if you're trailing and not catching up.
It's a thrilling pursuit as Ronnie Jonker is right behind Donovan Liu, keeping the pressure on for 12th place. It's a battle of wills out there, with Whithan trying to outsmart and outmaneuver Philip Van Staden. The gap is slowly closing, but time is running out. Situations like these often lead to a dramatic finish. Jonathan Visser is looking for an opportunity to get round Robert R. Coots.
To achieve anything in this game, you must be prepared to dabble at the boundary of disaster.
The tension is building as Wayne Midden trails behind Mike Ramsey. The gap is slowly but surely decreasing, and the pressure is mounting. Mike Ramsey is pushing to maintain the lead, while Wayne Midden is working to close in and challenge for the position. Ronnie Jonker wants to close that gap with Donovan Liu.
It looks like they have the speed to make a move. I just hope they have the patience to do it cleanly.
Philip Van Staden is pushing really hard, but as we know, pushing too hard can lead to other mistakes, like locking up the brakes or missing a shift. These drivers are walking a razor's edge between pushing the limits and making costly errors.
Absolutely, it's all about finding that sweet spot where you're pushing the car to its limits without crossing the line into reckless driving. That's where experience and skill come into play.
It looks like Wayne Midden is all over Mike Ramsey. I think they are gonna press them through Joke and Rent curve and try and press for a mistake.
For sure, Lucy, that's exactly what I would be doing here, as Mike Ramsey is gonna be aware of them riding their bumper.
It seems like Wayne Midden is pushing. They are on for recording their best lap so far this race. It's looking good for Wayne Midden, who has gained places and put some distance between themselves and Mike Ramsey.
Absolutely, Wayne Midden is showing great pace and determination, but they can't get too confident. There is still plenty of challenges ahead.
It looks like Jamie Nichols is pushing hard to catch up to Richard Reshka. That's not a small gap, but Jamie Nichols has what it takes to challenge for the position.
That's right, Jamie Nichols in second knows they have to push to the limit if they want to catch up. But Richard Reshke is no slouch, and they're going to be pushing just as hard. It's a battle of skill and will out there.
Rising to the occasion and claiming victory would help to cement this driver's legendary status. Hold up, breaking info. Looks like that's a mistake from Mike Ramsey. This could be costly. The delta between Jamie Nichols in second and Richard Reshka remains over a second, but Jamie Nichols is not letting up. They're pushing hard and looking for any opportunity to close that gap. There's 10 minutes left in this session to make that happen. It's a game of cat and mouse out there, with Donovan Liu trying to find the perfect opportunity to make a move on Wayne Midden. The gap is over a second, but every fraction counts. The crowd is on the edge of their seats as Jamie Nichols in second chases after Richard Rushka. The delta is just over a second, and you can feel the tension in the air. Jamie Nichols needs to find a way to close the gap. The race is heating up as Donovan Liu in 11th closes in on Wayne Midden. The gap is just over a second, and I'm sure they are going to do everything possible to try and close the distance. They're not giving up without a fight. The battle for one is heating up as Jamie Nichols tries to catch Richard Rushka in P1. It looks like we might get a battle between Jamie Nichols and Richard Rushka.
He'll be looking for a mistake to pounce on.
It's a classic case of chasing down the car ahead for Donovan Liu, who is currently in P11. But Wayne Midden is not making it easy, and the gap remains over a second. This will require some expert driving from Donovan Liu. The gap between Donovan Liu and Wayne Midden is getting smaller. It's a battle of wills out there, with Robert Arcoots trying to outsmart and outmaneuver Mike McGear. The gap is slowly closing, but time is running out. Situations like these often lead to a dramatic finish.
It's a nail-biting race for sure, with both drivers showing incredible skill and determination. But Mike McGear is not going to give up the position easily. This is going to be a battle to the very end, with Robert Arcoots in P8 doing everything they can to catch up.
As they speed through Valvoline Gervais, Donovan Liu is relentlessly pursuing Wayne Midden in a high-stakes battle for position. It's a tale of two drivers right now, with Donovan Liu gaining places and Wayne Midden losing them. No room for error here. Ronnie Jonker is breathing down the neck of Wayne Midden, waiting for the perfect chance to make their move.
If Ronnie Jonker gets any closer, they might as well ask Wayne Midden for a piggyback ride.
This is where the skill and experience of the drivers really come into play. Philip Van Staden will need to stay focused and keep pushing, even when the gap seems insurmountable. It's not over until the checkered flag drops.
Indeed, the anticipation is high as Philip Van Staden tries to reel in Weehan. But Weehan is not making it easy, maintaining a consistent pace. Philip Van Staden needs to find a little extra speed to bring the fight to Weehan and move up the field.
Look at that, Weehan is hot on the tail of Philip Van Staden. It looks like Robert Arcoots is pushing hard to catch up to Mike McGear. That's not a small gap, but Robert Arcoots has what it takes to challenge for the position. Things are heating up as Weehan tries to close the gap to Philip Van Staden.
With just 0.4 seconds between them, Weehan will need to close the gap to have hopes of a pass.
The pressure is on for Robert Arcoots as they try to catch up to Mike McGear. It seems like Robert Arcoots is struggling. They are not able to maintain their pace.
Robert Arcoots needs to refocus and start putting in the lap times we know they're capable of.
John, what's the impact of tire degradation on race strategy? How does it affect a driver's approach to the race?
Tire degradation plays a crucial role in race strategy, Lucy. Teams and drivers have to consider the optimal time to pit for fresh tires and adjust their race pace to balance speed with tire conservation. It adds another layer of complexity to the racing challenge.
It's a game of cat and mouse out there, with Wihan trying to find the perfect opportunity to make a move on Philip Van Staden. The gap is over a second, but every fraction counts. In racing, anything can, and usually does, happen, especially in such an epic showdown. Oh, this is getting intense. Donovan Wu is just a few car lengths behind Jonathan Visser. Donovan Liu has just put in a faster lap than Jonathan Visser, so that's going to give them something to worry about. The crowd is on the edge of their seats as Robert R. Coots in 8th chases after Mike McGear. The delta is just over a second, and you can feel the tension in the air. Robert R. Coots needs to find a way to close the gap. This is where the true champions shine, and Richard Reshka is certainly showing their class in the final second.
They're not leaving anything on the table.
It's all over. Richard Reshka has claimed victory in this race with a stunning drive that will be remembered for years to come. Clearly at the top of their game right now. Some might say that second place is the first loser, but JP Brand certainly doesn't see it that way. They put in a phenomenal effort and should be proud of their impressive result.
Strong work securing second place. Well done.
What a race from Jamie Nichols, showing their skill and determination for a great third place finish. Finishing 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th is Peter Grobler, Ernest Heather, Melvin Gauss, and Mike McGear. Coming in 8th, 9th, 10th, and 11th we have Robert R. Coots, Jonathan Visser, Donovan Liu, and Wayne Midden. Ronnie Jonker, Peter Geldenhuis, Richard Footman, and Philip Van Staden brings home 12th, 13th, 14th, and 15th. Taking 16th and 18th is Wihan and Rian Barkhuizen. You've joined us on a breezy day here at Spielberg 1974, as we're getting ready to get things underway. Starting from the second position on the grid, we have Jonathan Visser.
The South African driver will be focused on a good result from here.
Taking off from the third grid slot is the skilled driver, Robert R. Coutts.
But they're going to have to be quick out of the blocks if they want to keep up with the top performers.
Lining up in fourth is Mike McGeer. Melvin Gauss is lining up fifth.
Melvin Goes will be taking no prisoners today.
Ernest Heather has qualified sixth, and they're off. The race is now in action. This is the moment when drivers must show their mettle and find the perfect line.
Precision is everything during these initial stages. One wrong move can cost them valuable time or even force them out of the race.
Donovan Boone will be studying nearby drivers and looking for anything that could give them an advantage.
The first lap can always be a bit of a melee as everyone tries to establish it. It's easy for inexperienced racers to blow it in T1.
The pressure is on when the field is this tightly packed.
Speed 100
Maintaining
kilometers per
just
hour.
enough aggression to hold off their rivals without pushing too hard will help these drivers keep it clean. This is going to be one hell of a race. I can already feel it.
There are a few drivers with a point to prove, and a few with some grudges to bear. Let's hope they can keep it clean.
All the drivers will be trying to take advantage of the pack whilst they're still bunched up. Races are often more about maintaining consistency than having outright pace, but it doesn't hurt to have a little good luck every now and then. It looks like Peter Grobler is starting to catch up to Melvin Gauss. The gap is now down to 0.3 seconds.
This is a critical moment in the race for Melvin Goes. They need to find some extra speed and stay ahead of Peter Grobler.
Peter Grobler is on a mission, chasing Melvin Gauss, who's desperately trying to stay ahead.
Don't forget the role of aerodynamics. Peter Grobler should use slipstreaming to their advantage and close the gap to Melvin Goes.
It's like watching two predators circling each other, waiting for the perfect moment to pounce.
You can feel the intensity in the air. The slightest mistake can cost either the valuable time and the position.
Hold your breath, folks. Richard Reschke is sandwiched between two relentless competitors. Ronnie Jonker 0.2 seconds behind and Peter Grobler 0.2 seconds ahead. They're fighting tooth and nail for every position.
You're right on the money, Lucy. Richard Reschke is caught between two determined rivals, and the gaps to the cars ahead and behind add an extra layer of complexity. It's a delicate balance between defense and seeking opportunities.
The race is heating up as Ronnie Jonker in 14th closes in on Jacobus Basson. The gap is just over a second, and I'm sure they are going to do everything possible to try and close the distance. They're not giving up without a fight. It's a close race between J.P. Brand and Melvin Gauss in fourth. far for Robert Arcoots. They're holding their position and keeping a steady pace.
Consistency is key in racing. Robert Arcoots just needs to keep doing what they're doing and wait for opportunities to present themselves.
And we're back, where the drivers are showing us some incredible skills.
Indeed, Lucy, it's always exciting to see these skilled drivers operating such fantastic machines on amazing tracks.
Oh, this is getting intense. Robert Arcoots is just behind Peter Grover. Every move counts now as Donovan Liu works to reel in Ernest Heather and overtake for P2. It's a battle out there, each driver trying to outsmart and outmaneuver the other. A great moment for JP Brand, who has just gained a place and moved up the standings. Donovan Liu is giving it their all as they chase down JP Brand in P3.
The mental game is just as important here. Donovan Lau must keep their cool while putting pressure on JP Brand.
Peter Grover is placed 5th at the moment. They are hoping to keep their distance ahead of Melvin Gauss, who is 0.3 seconds behind.
Peter Grover is doing a great job of defending in the lead, and Melvin Goes is pushing hard to close the gap. It's an exciting race and it's not over yet.
Looks like Melvin Gauss is really pushing it to the limit. They're taking those curves aggressively, but that can unsettle the car and cause handling issues.
Indeed, taking too much curve can upset the car's balance, leading to oversteer or understeer. It's all about maintaining that fine line between speed and control. The gap between them is now just over 0.3 seconds.
This is a thrilling battle as Robert Arcoots edges closer to Richard Reschke in their fight for P7.
We'll have to wait to see if Robert Arcoots can use the draft to their advantage, or if the lack of downforce will hinder their progress.
The race is really heating up. Ernest Heather is hunting down JP Brand with everything they've got.
That driver is really pushing the limits. They're riding the curbs and pushing the car to its limits.
Wow, Peter Grobler is really pushing hard to catch up to Donovan Liu. There's blood in the water for 4th place.
That's right, Peter Grobler is determined to pass Donovan Lau and secure a higher position.
This is getting exciting. Richard Reschke is looking for any gap that might open up the position. This is what high-octane racing looks like. Richard Reschke is breathing down the neck of Melvin Gauss, not giving them any room to relax.
If Richard Reschke isn't careful, they might end up turning this high-speed chase into a synchronized spinning routine, and trust me, that's not a crowd pleaser.
The gap between Donovan Liu and Richard Reschke is razor, and they're off. The race is now in motion. This is the moment when drivers must show their mettle and find the perfect line.
Precision is everything during these initial stages. One wrong move could cost them valuable time or even force them out of the race.
The pursuit is on. Donovan Liu is closing the gap on Richard Reschke, determined to claim P6.
It's a game of strategy now as Donovan Lau hunts down Richard Reschke. Yes, it's all about choosing the right moments to push and when to conserve energy, waiting for the perfect opportunity to strike.
We got a close battle as Melvin Gauss closes in on Donovan Liu. A great pass for Melvin Gauss as they pick off other drivers and move up the field. Meanwhile, Donovan Liu has lost ground.
Yes, but Melvin Goes can't rest on their laurels. They have to keep pushing to consolidate their position.
They're going side by side, door handle to door handle. This is as close as it gets, folks. I would not be surprised if these drivers swap positions a few times before the order gets ultimately decided. The action is non-stop as Donovan Liu shadows Robert R. Coots through every twist and turn, determined to claim 7th. Mike McGear is running 9th. They are trying to catch Donovan Liu. This is where the skill and precision of the drivers really comes into play. Jacobus Basson is chasing Richard Footman in P12. Richard Reschke is pushing really hard, but as we know, pushing too hard can lead to other mistakes, like locking up the brakes or missing a shift. These drivers are walking a razor's edge between pushing the limits and making costly errors.
Absolutely, it's all about finding that sweet spot where you're pushing the car to its limits without crossing the line into reckless driving. That's where experience and skill come into play. Richard Reschke is looking to close the 0.4 second gap and make a pass.
The pressure is on for Robert R. Coots as they try to catch up to Melvin Gauss.
Robert R. Coots needs to focus if they want to make a move and pass Melvin Gauss.
It's neck and neck, the closest battle we've seen in a while. This is what it's all about, folks. Richard Reschke is in hot pursuit of Peter Grobler, who's just trying to stay ahead.
Richard Reschke is so close to Peter Grobler that if this were a dance floor, they'd be doing the tango.
Richard Reschke could be on a charge here, John. They have just put in a quicker lap than Peter Grobler. The track conditions are looking good here today. The drivers will be able to push the cars to the limit, and it's going to make for some exciting racing. It's an intense battle for position as Peter Geldenhuys tries to outmaneuver Philip Van Staden. This is edge-of-your-seat racing. Great driving from Peter Geldenhuys, who has just gained a place and moved up to 15th. Superb driving from Peter Geldenhuys, who with that overtake has gained a position in the race.
Yes, Peter Geldenhuys is driving with real focus and precision, and it's paying off.
The crowd is on its feet as Peter Grobler chases down Richard Reschke through Dr. Tyrok Curve. It seems like Peter Grobler is struggling. Their last lap time was a bit off the pace of Richard Reschke. You can feel the tension in the air.
The drivers are all focused, putting everything on the line for a chance at victory, pushing themselves and their machines to the limit.
And let's not forget about the incredible machines themselves.
Absolutely, it's amazing to think about the kind of engineering and innovation that goes into making these vehicles. But it all comes down to the drivers, who have to be able to handle the power and speed. It's going to be thrilling seeing how this race turns out.
Things are heating up as Philip Van Staden tries to close the gap to Peter Geldenhuys. Fantastic move from Philip Van Staden, who has just gained a position. Tactics are clearly going to play an important part in this race.
They are going to need to look after their tyres and will want to keep something in them for the crucial latter stages, as their tyres wear and fuel levels deplete and the handling changes.
And don't forget the track grip increases as more rubber gets laid down.
Indeed, the conditions are constantly changing and the drivers need to adapt, otherwise it can cost crucial time and jeopardize their position.
This is where the race gets really interesting. Jamie Nichols is closing in on JP Brand. The intensity is off the charts as Richard Reschke haunts Ernest Heather, both drivers pushing themselves to the absolute limit. counts now as Jamie Nichols works to reel in JP Brand and overtake for P1.
This is where every inch counts. Jamie Nichols is pushing hard to close the gap on JP Brand. Absolutely, precision and control are key here. Knowing when to push and when to hold back can be the difference between winning and losing.
Oh, this is getting intense. Richard Reshka is just a few car lengths behind Ernest Heather.
I would not be surprised if they get this pass completed soon.
Now, this is a challenging position for Robert Arcoots. Stuck between a rock and a hard place, with Mike McGear closing in 0.2 seconds behind and Donovan Liu just ahead with a gap of 0.2 seconds. Look at that, Peter Geldenhuys is hot on the tail of Philip Van Staden.
The gap is 0.4 seconds now. Peter Geldenhuys is going to have to work a bit harder to close that gap with Philip Van Staden.
Donovan Liu appears to be trying to find a way around Robert Arcoots. They could make a move on them in Dr. Tyrok curve. The fans are on the edge of their seats. It doesn't get any closer than this. Big gains for Mike McGear as they move up the field, leaving Donovan Liu behind. Anyone who says that Simspeed Motorsports is not the best racing club on the planet is clearly insane. The quality of driving we're seeing out there on the track is absolutely phenomenal.
I couldn't agree more. It's like these drivers were born to race. They're weaving in and out of traffic, taking corners at unbelievable speeds, and making it all look effortless. It's clear that they've put in the time and effort to hone their skills.
Things are heating up as Ernest Heather closes in on Richard Reshka. The gap between them is down to practically nothing. Peter Grobler is giving it their all as they chase down Ernest Heather in P4. The battle for 14 is heating up as Peter Geldenhuys tries to catch Philip Van Staden in P14. Rising to the occasion and claiming victory would help to cement this driver's legendary status. And Ernest Heather has just won the place from Richard Reshka.
Absolutely, Lucy, but there's still a long way to go in this race, and Ernest Heather can't afford to get complacent. They have to keep driving with intensity and focus.
Heartbreak for Ernest Heather as they slip down the field. The pursuit is on. Mike Ramsey is closing the gap on Jonathan Visser, determined to claim P9. What a move. Mike Ramsey has moved up to 9. In your experience, John, what was the most important aspect of managing tire degradation during a race?
The most important aspect, Lucy, was maintaining a good balance between pushing hard and conserving tires. Finding the sweet spot between aggression and tire preservation was key to optimizing race pace and strategy.
And there it is. JP Brand has completed the race in first place, setting a blistering pace that none of the other drivers could match. Impressive second place finish for Jamie Nichols.
Impressive performance. They pushed themselves to the limit for a
Hold on a second. It looks like Mike Ramsey has been called into the pits. What a race from Richard Reshka. They kept their cool and secured a well-earned third place on the podium.
What a drive, well-deserved spot on the podium with that performance.
Ernest Heather, Peter Grobler, Robert Arcutz, and Mike McGear claim 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th. Donovan Liu, Mike Ramsey, Jonathan Visser, and Ronnie Jonker end in 8th, 9th, 10th, and 11th. In 12th, 13th, 14th, and 15th, it's Richard Footman, Wihan, Philip Van Staden, and Peter Geldenhuys. Stop the press. Philip Van Staden is in the pits.